This episode is brought to you by the Conscious Combo Network and the Black Boy Fly Club. Go to www.blackboyfly.club to learn about the movement, get books, merch, and just get connected with the brand overall. Again, www.blackboyfly.club. I hope you enjoy the next episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Boy Fly podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Isaac Addae. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in, that's watched an episode, commented, shared, told somebody about this show. We are on our 9th episode. We're gaining steam. We dropped one of our first interviews recently. We're still having fun, most importantly. So thanks for tuning in again. Today I want to talk about Black men and the importance of community. But I want to first talk about a particular person. I want to dedicate this episode to the memory of Wandale Cooper, who's one of my classmates, a good friend and a brother and former colleague that passed away recently, suddenly and unexpected. And it just really hit me when I heard about his loss, because I thought about how he was a big part of my community when I first started my career at Tennessee State University. So let's get into the conversation. We see and hear a lot of things that are creating community for women, and rightfully so. I love these things. My wife is a part of helping that happen for women. But when I talk to groups of men, they often feel as though there aren't things that help them create or are offering or providing community for them. And I just want to share with anybody listening to this that if you're a Black man, it's important that you have community. It's important that you have brothers around you or other people around you to help you through various phases of your life. When I think about my adult life and I think about the things that I've been challenged with, the battles that I've fought, the problems that I've faced, and the mountains that I've had to climb, none of that would have ever been possible for me to get through without community, specifically other Black men who were vested in my success, who loved me and who helped uplift me. Black men really need community. When I arrived at Tennessee State University, my brother Wandale Cooper was already a staff member there. And because I remembered him from college, we reconnected and formed a pretty tight bond. And during the academic year, I talked to him on a weekly basis. We were both fathers of young children. We both were really student-centered and wanted to see our students at Tennessee State do well. But because I was a new faculty member, he really helped me navigate the political landscape and understand what was going on in the College of Business and how I could best be successful. And then we also talked a lot about our personal lives and our challenges and things that we went through. But I always remember Wandale cheering me on. When he knew that I was struggling to finish the PhD, he said, "Man, Doc, you got to get that done." He would call me Doc before I even had my doctorate degree. And it really made a big difference. And when I think about other places that I've occupied time and space in other areas of my life where I've spent time, I've had people there, specifically other Black men, who provided a sense of community and helped me push through whatever I was going through, or kept me uplifted, or told me that I was great. We need that. Specifically as Black men, we need that, because there's so many opposing messages and forces in society that often work against us. We've got to band together and help each other and form that strong sense of community. So if you're a Black man and you're listening to this podcast, I want you to think about, who are the 5 closest people to you that you spend time with? Do you talk to them about the things that you're dealing with? Do you share your struggles and your challenges? Are you all a resource to help uplift one another? That's what I really believe will make the difference in your life. I have a group of brothers in my circle that I connect with on a regular basis. I call and check in on them. They call and check in on me. We're asking about each other's personal lives. How are the kids? How's your wife? How's work? How's school? What are you dealing with? We may laugh and crack jokes, but at the end of the day, we all want to see each other be great. And we are forming that sense of community for one another. We tell each other we love each other. We push each other. We encourage each other. And for me, it's a huge difference maker in life when I know that I can have other brothers that I can reach out to, or when they haven't heard from me in a while, they reach out to me and say, Isaac, what's going on? I hadn't heard from you in a few weeks. You doing well? What's happening? All right. It's important as Black men that we create that sense of community for one another. We never know what one person is battling with or struggling with. And by you just reaching out, that can make a difference in that individual's day. And I'm saying this because oftentimes as Black men, unfortunately, we suffer in silence. We endure things, we go through things, and we don't share and we don't talk about it, and we keep it to ourselves, and we internalize those things, and it just eats us alive in terms of affecting our physical health or our mental health or our emotional health. We're often carrying a lot, right? We're likely supporting our family, immediate and extended. We may have children that we're trying to help raise, right? Not counting what we may be dealing in the workforce in terms of providing for our families, in terms of making an income. And so there's a lot that we carry on our shoulders as Black men, and it doesn't make sense for us to isolate ourselves and not have a community of other brothers that we connect with and talk to and share and help each other push through this thing that we know called life. All right. So community is important. We've got to band together as brothers. Think about the 5 people that you spend the most time with. What are you offering for them? What are they offering for you? Do you need a new circle of people to help you remain uplifted? Are you the one in the circle that keeps things to himself and doesn't share and doesn't open up and talk about what you're dealing with or your struggles? Personally, I found that when I open up and I talk to my brothers about the things that I'm dealing with, they're likely dealing with the exact same thing. I mean, just last week, I had an hour-long conversation with one of my closest friends, and we're talking about relationships, and I'm bringing up things, and he's like, man, I'm dealing with that, but I wasn't really aware of how you're processing it, and that's great because that's going to help me. I mean, why not do that? Why not be that resource for one another? The more that we open up and share and talk about the things, good or bad or indifferent, that we're processing in life, the more I think that we can free other people from the things that may be holding them back and keeping them from flying high in life. Again, community. We've got to have a stronger sense of community. And with community comes trust, right? We've got to be able to trust one another to be able to share what we're going through, our wins, our losses, the things that we want to do in terms of our dreams, maybe even our shortcomings and failures. We've got to be open about these things, because if we are, we're better people, we're better men, we're better husbands, we're better fathers because of it. By sharing what we go through, sharing our experiences with our community and with our circle of other brothers, we're helping each other lift and climb. 9 times out of 10, whatever you're struggling with right now, there's somebody in your circle who's likely struggling with the same thing. And because you haven't opened up to speak on it, they'll never know. But by you saying, hey man, can I talk to you about something? I'm dealing with this. They may say, wow, I'm dealing with that too. Let's work through it together. All right. I want to see more of us as Black men flying high in life, reaching our full potential, achieving our dreams, being happy, healthy, and wealthy, as my wife says all the time. And we can get there, but we can't get there alone. We're not superheroes in that sense. We all have things that we have to work through. We all have our shortcomings. We all have the things that we're processing and trying to overcome. Why go through it by yourself? Doesn't make any sense to me. Teamwork, as they say, makes the dream work. So find your community of brothers, band together, be a resource for one another, lean on one another, help each other become better versions of your current selves. And guess what? Our whole community is better because of it. If we get to a place where Black men are banding together and supporting one another, the entire community benefits. But when we suffer in silence, or when we keep things within and we don't talk to one another, destruction. So again, going back to my brother Wandale, he was a great source of community for me in the workplace, and we would connect outside of work, and he would always take the lead to reach out to me to check in and see how I was doing. that brother was really concerned and really thought highly of me as a person and wanted to see me do well. He knew what I was battling as a single father. He knew what I was battling with trying to finish my PhD as a new college professor. He knew all of these things that I was processing. And every time I interacted with him, it was a very positive, a very uplifting conversation. And it was about, Isaac, you can get through it. You can be great. You can overcome whatever you're dealing with. And I would in turn reciprocate that for him and cheer him on and help him try to reach his highest heights as well. So again, as black men in this world, we have a lot of things that are working against us. But if we band together, we create this sense of community, we lean and trust and depend on one another, our lives are better for it, our community is better, our families are better, and I believe that the world is a better place. So, who's in your community? Name them, write those people down, send them a message, tell them you love them, tell them, hey, I'm here for you, because tomorrow is not promised. And while we're living this life and we're going through our day-to-day routine, we're losing people. Tomorrow's not promised. Connect with those brothers that you love, come together, create that tight bond, help uplift one another so that you all can fly high in life, because that's what I want to see. I want to see more of us as black men flying high and overcoming challenges. And I know we can't do it by ourselves, but we can do it together. All right. So that was just a short message that was on my heart that I wanted to share with you all today. Again, I really appreciate everybody that's tuned in to this podcast. 9th episode, having fun with it. Got some good interviews coming up. Really excited about those. The brother that I recently interviewed, Joseph P. Day, won his election in Nashville recently, so I'm excited about that. Maybe we boosted that up a little bit for him. But I'd also love to hear about who you think I should be interviewing on the podcast, or maybe what topics you think we should cover. Drop that in the comments or send me an email. I would love to hear about what you're thinking or what some topics we should cover on this podcast. But again, thanks for tuning in. Connect with us on social media, Isaac Addae PhD on all platforms, as well as tune into the podcast on YouTube and all of your favorite podcast networks. Appreciate your support.